Good morning everyone and welcome to Sugar and Crumbs. My name's Tracey Mann from Tracey Mann Cakes, and this morning I'm going to be making a full-blown birthday cake. So I'm actually making it for a friend, so we've got to do it properly, make sure it goes okay. So my friend Emma is actually a member of Sugar and Crumbs, so I've temporarily banned her so that she can't see this. So I have told her she cannot watch it, but we're going to be making a Club Tropicana 80s themed cake. So we're going to make a little bar and various bits and pieces. I think I'm relatively prepared, but I can't completely guarantee that, and I am on my own. Kelly is not here, so if I'm suddenly tearing around across the room looking for bits of equipment, you'll know why. But I might be here a little while this morning, so if you are joining me, I should go and get yourself a cocktail or a cup of tea, because I may be here for some time. For some of you that haven't seen me before, I'm normally here on Tuesday evenings at 6:30 and Thursday mornings at 11:30. Now the Thursday morning ones tend to be a little bit calmer than this one today, but because this is for a birthday tomorrow, I thought, well, I'll do this live in my madness. Last time I did this, I can't tell you who I've banned temporarily. Last time I did this live, an 80s cake, it did take me a while. I've already been back to the house twice because I've forgotten various bits of equipment. You know, I'm sitting here getting this all ready and gone, oh, another list, so I've gone back again. And it's quite warm in here, as you can see by my appearance. Oh, Nikki's on. I hope you're okay, Nikki. So yes, we're going to be doing an 80s Club Tropicana theme. I've already prepped my cake, so let's have a little look at that while we're here. So this is a 5-inch round cake. Oh, I don't know how tall it is though. That's a good question, isn't it? Let's have a little look. I think it might be five inches in height, because I wanted a big decent bit of height on here for this one. Let's have a little look, shall we? 5.5. 5 by 5.5. So it's quite a tall cake, because what I want to do is I want to do I'm going to do a little bar on the front of here. Basically, we're doing Club Tropicana Wham style. So we're doing a full 80s thing, and Andrew Ridgeley and George Michael will be on there as well. If I could have the music playing in the background, I would, but Facebook will chuck me off, so I can't do that. So in my mind, I'm busy singing all these songs, and I'm sure you can sing them at home while I'm doing this. So what we're going to do, we're going to get started by covering this cake near enough straight away, as we've got a lot to do. Thank you very much for joining me. As I say, if you do miss this, you can always catch up on YouTube or back on Sugar and Crumbs itself. So don't worry, don't ever miss out on any of the videos. Let's get rid of that, so we don't want to see that for the whole time. So all I'm doing to start with, so I'm just taking, this is a cake I have ganached, as you can see. I had to do something to get myself marginally ahead. Otherwise it would have been a total meltdown. I'd be here till probably this evening. I've done a few things in advance to try and help myself a little bit. So I'm just going around with some water. You can do this with water, or you can do it with Trex. I've always done it with water, and so that's what I'm going to do it with. Just tap water, paintbrush, nothing more complicated than that. I had a very nice holiday, thank you. I was on Tuesday recreating my holiday with my Mr. Whippy cookies. If you missed that, that's on YouTube now, but I'll be doing that again Saturday, I suspect, because I'm a bit obsessed with them at the moment. And actually, because it's Father's Day, my dad is also, I'm sure that's why I'm obsessed with this Mr. Whippy thing. I will have to make some more, otherwise he's going to want to know where his is. I know what he's like. He'll be watching, you see. Right, okay, so we've covered that with some water. We painted some water on there. And what I did earlier today, again, just to give myself a little bit of a head start, I have dyed this paste. Let's change cameras. There we go. So I've dyed this paste, which is Satinara, I believe. Gosh, I should look at the packet, shouldn't I? I just grab it and never think. Anyway, it's Satinara, I believe, and I've dyed it with now what I did is I dyed it with this colour here, which is Colour Splash Navy Blue, which is actually a really nice colour, I think. I do like this colour. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to knead through some more white, so I get a sort of slightly cloudy effect. So let's take out some white. Don't need very much, just a little bit. And we're going to put these two. Mr. Whippy's run out of ice cream. He never runs out of ice cream, otherwise I wouldn't have this problem, would I? Honestly, oh dear. I won't tell you about the other account I've got connected with food because you'll laugh even more. I've got another Instagram account with another certain dietary requirement that I have when I go out, and someone's going to confess at some point, but I've actually got, yeah, it's worse than the Mr. Whippy one, I think. Well, it could be up there with it. Right, I'll tell you about that later. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're just going to knead these two together really badly. That's what I'm going to describe this as, so that what we get is kind of a streak of white going through this. Okay, so we'll keep going until we can start seeing it. And then all of a sudden it will appear. Mr. Whippy's run out of ice. He'll never run out. If it doesn't appear, well then we've just got a lighter blue, and that's okay too, I don't mind. That is all fine. We will have a streak in there somewhere. Right, let's put some icing sugar down. Actually, it might help if I had some icing sugar actually in this pot. Okay, let me find that. What's that? Mr. Whippy sells trays of ice cream treats. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I've got another Instagram account. I'm laughing now because I'm so predictable. It's unbelievable. So, okay, I have I have another Instagram account. You can all go looking for this afterwards, and you'll know it's me because it says my name on it. But I've only got about 4 followers at the moment because I've only just started doing this madness in my life. So I think I'm getting old now, and I'm starting to lose the plot a bit. Anyway, when I go out, this is how sad I am. I always check out every menu I go to, and if it's got scampi on it, then it's a complete no-brainer as far as I'm concerned. So I have an Instagram account called Addicted to Scampi. You can all go and look for it now, and you'll find it, and it's on there, and it's me talking about all the places I go and eat scampi and grading them. It's terrible. But I'm so I'm terribly predictable. My friends think it's really funny. So whenever I go out, I'm literally like, oh, they've got scampi, right, that's it, done. So I don't even think twice about it. It's really not good. So yeah, go and look for my Addicted to Scampi, it's called. You'll find it, because there's only one person mad enough to do that, you see. So oh, this thing is blocked. It's driving me crazy. Let's just put some icing sugar down that way. I think it's congealed. Oh, there we go. That's why. So yes, in my life, Mr. Whippy and scampi, I think that's my ideal gourmet meal. I will be fine. So yeah, off you go. Go and have a look for it. Addicted to scampi. Honestly, what am I like? Telling you my whole story on here, honestly. Right, I'm going to do one more thing before I carry on. I'm just going to lift this camera up a bit because it's right on top of what I'm trying to do. Can't actually see anything. There we go. That's a little bit better. Oh, I know scampi is just like the best thing ever as far as I'm concerned. You can't have it enough times per week. No, it's just a funny thing. Whenever we go out, the first thing I do is scan a menu and look for it, and if it's there, then oh, I'm off out with Jackie by the look. She's a scampi and Mr. Whippy fan. Is there a tutorial for the castle cake? Which castle cake? Oh, that one on that. Which castle cake? She says. No, I made that years ago. It's decoration. That just sits there, keeps everyone entertained. I would do one, but honestly, I think it would just take me forever. It was quite a complicated project, I have to say. So yeah, scampi it is, everybody. And they do have some very nice scampi in Northern Ireland. I would just like to say that in the Portrush restaurant. I know where that scampi is. So I know, honestly, I need to get out more, I think. In fact, if I go out more, I just seek out Mr. Whippy and scampi. Yeah, I know. I think it's my dad, actually. I think he's the problem. I think that's why I've got this, because he's the same. So, yeah. Oh, dear. So, yeah, there's a very nice restaurant in Portrush in Northern Ireland that I will be going to in September. And then I'm out for dinner with this lady who I'm making this cake for tomorrow night. And my first question was her, is there any scampi on the menu? Yes, there is. Perfect. So guess what? That's exactly what I'll be having. And then I'll get to write about it on my Instagram like a sad person. Oh dear. What am I doing, with my life? Right. Oh, I've got a hole there. I don't need that. Might concentrate now. It's very hot in here. I said that on Tuesday night. I'm going to see if I can get away with that. There, if not, I'll re-roll it. Very warm. I thought after some of the rain it might get a little bit cooler, but it is not. I might have to put my air conditioning on in a second. I always switch it off when I'm live because I'm a bit concerned you won't be able to hear me. James Martin, you see, I know, I'm a bit of a, also I buy it every week from the supermarket, and it's just getting sadder and sadder, this conversation, isn't it? And so I always buy it every Friday. I know, it's really bad. And then if I can get it anywhere else, whoops, that wasn't meant to happen. Let's get rid of that. If I can buy it anywhere else, oh, I've really messed this up. Let me do it again. Then I will. I'm going to just start again because I've thrown everything at this, literally. Oh dear. Let's put that over there. So, Emma, as this is who this cake is for, if you're watching, I was just doing it all again because I'm now messing your cake up. I've got to do it properly, you see. I say this every time I do one that's for somebody. And I've done a few cakes for people on here. I did a live wedding cake a while back, and I did my sister-in-law's cake on here and my nephew's. So it's not the first time. I do a little mock-up beforehand as well, just to kind of make sure I can actually, or I know roughly what I'm doing. I'm not completely winging it, you know. Everybody go and buy some scampi. Yeah, I just get it every week. It's just like a stand. It's not even on my shopping list because I just pick it up anyway. Oh dear, honestly, yeah, addicted to scampi. Terrible. Oh well, it's a bit fun, isn't it? Everyone thinks it's funny. Including me, really. I'm not worried. Not worried about much, I can tell you. I'll be more worried if this goes wrong for a second time. Right, let's get a grip on this. Come on. Right. I'm very hot at the moment. Next time I put the camera back on, I'm bright red at the moment. What's ruscalin? What is that? Is that something I don't know about? Oh, he'll have to explain to me what that is. I've not heard of that. Is it some sort of fish or something? A scampi alternative. We can't have that. Right. Okay, we're nearly there. A tiny bit more. And I think we'll call it quits. I've got loads of air bubbles in this today just to help me along my way. Let's move this around. Nice big one in the middle there. Let's get rid of that first. Right, what do I do with that scriber? Okay, I've got another one there. Gosh, they're multiplying today. Some days they're just like that, aren't they? Right, let me grab my seat for a second. I don't even know what scampi is, I just really like it. Oh, what's that? Ruscalin is a form of breadcrumbs. Oh, I've never heard of it. Okay. Maybe I've been eating it all along and not actually realised. That wouldn't surprise me either, to be perfectly honest. I'm on another planet most of the time, so I've probably eaten it and not realised. But I'm a bit fussy about scampi, you know. You can go to some restaurants and it's lovely, and you go to other restaurants and you think, what is wrong with that? So that's why I've started to write about it, because then I can remember, you see, because this is the other problem I have. My memory is shocking. So if I write about this, then I'll just look back on my Instagram like some sad person and go, oh, that's where we need to go, because look, there's nice scampi there. This is a smedger edger, if anybody thinks, what is she doing? So I'm just smoothing down the sugar paste with my smedger edger, and I'm going to use that to help me cover the cake. So let's switch cameras. We're going on to this one now. And then we're going to put my rolling pin across there. Hope I've rolled out enough, hopefully. All right, camera's in the way. And we'll chuck that over the top. There we go. Now it's not gone right to the bottom. That's okay, because by the time we've moved it around a bit, it will, or we'll make it go to the bottom, one or the other. Now it's not, this cake is not actually stuck to the board. I'm going to do the board separately. So I'm going to move this off the board shortly. So it's just on there for balance purposes at the moment. Right, let's start to take this down. Let me stand up for a second so I can see what I'm doing. So we're going to slowly work our way down. Got some air bubbles going on there, so let's get rid of those. And then take it down carefully, because you don't want to tear it. Not if you can help it, not on a live anyway. Definitely not. Down we go. and the sugar paste will stretch and hopefully get it to the bottom. There's a massive air bubble there. Come on. Someone's playing games with me today. Right, okay, down we go. I think I am quite mad, to be perfectly honest. I'm laughing at your comments, you know. Panko, I've never heard about this stuff. I think I'm just too kind of, I'm not a basic eater, but I don't, yeah, I think that might be. Kelly eats very kind of exotically. She eats lots of, gosh, she's always cooking something, is Kelly. She's vegetarian, but she cooks all sorts of things. Lots of ramen and that kind of stuff. It all smells very nice. But ramen or scampi? Unfortunately, it's straight for the scampi. So, luckily it's on the menu tomorrow night, so I'm sorted. And I'll write all about it in the morning. So yeah, you need to find where you'll have to laugh at my Instagram, and then you'll go, oh look, that's where she went last time. Where do I go for the best scampi? You're going to know. Gosh, it's getting very hot in here. I might have to put my aircon on in a second because I am literally melting. Luckily you can't see me, but if I turn the camera back round, you'll probably go, what's she doing? Okay, we're nearly at the bottom. I'm going to keep the camera on the cake for the moment while I just quietly melt here. Do you know, one time we had a class running in here and the ice cream van did actually turn up, and it's only ever done that once. You probably thought, I'm not coming back there again. She was mad. I mean, I was out there like a rocket. So right, we've made it. Yay, thank goodness. Good morning, everybody. There's a few more people joining. Gosh, it's hot. Right, okay. Or I'm hot, one or the other. Right, we got to the bottom. Now, just take our, we're going to get our fancy knife. I'm going to take our smedger first and just push that towards the cake, just to try and take it to the bottom there. Near enough there. We won't get it completely because it's a bit lumpy in places. And then actually we'll use our plastic side scraper. It does less damage. So, do you know, it's so hot in here, I can't tell you, it's really muggy. I don't think it's like, you know, up in the 30 degrees, it's just incredibly muggy. The air is just not moving. So, I think I will have to turn my aircon on in a second. Otherwise, I will be melted. Right, we'll keep that blue because I'm sure I'll find something else to do with that. Now, just remember this isn't attached to the board. So, therefore, let me get another smedger because otherwise that's going to go flying. Perfect. Make sure it's clean because that's the next thing. I'll go put it on there and then I'll find it will remove itself, or somebody else likes their smedgers. They are great. So I'm just going to hold that in place. Round we go. Because if I do this with my hand, if I do that, then I'm going to imprint my lovely finger marks going all the way round. We don't want that. So that's why you have two, or why I have two. Round we go. So for those of you that have just joined us, we are making, or I am making, an 80s themed Club Tropicana cake. So we're making a little bar, and then George and Andrew are going to make an appearance. I've got those lined up as well. So I've made a few bits in advance to try and speed my demo up a little bit, although I expect this may take a bit of time this morning. Don't know really until we get going how long it's going to take. We will see. See what happens. Right, let's push that way. So we'll go around a few times because we can. And we'll go across the top as well, again. I'm reading some of your comments now. Yeah, I'm going to put my aircon in a minute and then you're going to tell me if you can't hear me anymore. Let me go and put it on. I haven't actually said anything yet. So if you suddenly go, we can't hear you anymore. Well, I'm now talking with my aircon on, so you tell me if you can still hear me okay. Hopefully you can, because otherwise I'm going to be a melted mess by the end of this, and it's not going to be pretty. It's fine. No, it's not fine. We don't know yet. Oh, you're 10 seconds behind me, aren't you? So just let me know. Last night's Sugar and Crumbs, 11:45. Oh my goodness. Is that what time it finished last night? What on earth were they doing? Oh, they were doing macarons or something, weren't they? Oh my goodness. You can hear me. Oh, wonderful. Thank goodness. I'm going to leave it on then if that's okay. Because I'm melting. It's not pretty. I might be alright after this. I'll let myself recover before I come back on screen. I'm probably still glowing a little bit, but there we go. Well, actually it's making the sugar paste a lot easier to deal with already, because even that was getting a bit sticky and horrid. Okay, so we'll go around a little bit more. I mean, we can always cover the bits we don't like, can't we? So it doesn't have to be perfect, it just means that we just need it, well, as good as we can get. It's a 5-inch tall cake, so 5 inches by 5 and a bit inches in height. So basically, oh good, I'm glad you can all hear me, I'm relieved actually. I didn't think I could carry on without it, it's just so hot in here. Right, there we go, look at that, isn't this glorious? Hey, that's that done. So that's going to be our sky scene, I guess. That's actually, I've got yet another air bubble. They seem to be multiplying today. There we go. All right. So I've got a couple at the top there. I can always just kind of blend those in, or I'm going to put something on it. I can always do that. My smedger edges, they're on my website, which is traceyscakes.co.uk. If you go into, I think they're in cake equipment at the moment. So if you have a look in there, there's go to cake supplies and then go into cake equipment, you'll find them in there. I don't know if Nikki's on it. Nikki's in not well at the moment, so I'm not sure if she's here, or she was here earlier. She might put a little link up for you. Kelly's making cupcakes at the moment, so she's busy. Is it possible to make dairy-free ganache? Gosh, I don't know. I'm sure that if you ask Carol, she'll probably do something. I know they do a vegan. What do they do? A vegan-free. No, what is it? Vegan Friday or something? Free from Friday. I'm sure in there that Karen must have done a live on dairy-free ganache. So yeah, it must be possible. I'm sure of that. This isn't dairy-free though. This has got chocolate and that. Right, I think we're finished with that now. I think we're just about there. So I don't like prawns, but I love scampi. Do you know, prawns are okay, but they're a poor second, aren't they, to scampi? I mean, scampi is the thing, really. I'm hoping when I come off here, I've had loads of people following my Addicted to Scampi. Oh dear. There's only 2 posts on there at the moment because I've only just, well, I started it about, I don't know, 3 or 4 weeks ago, and I've had 2 lots already, so. Right, so let's put that away, and then what we're going to do next, we're going to use my lovely autumn leaf colour. This tablecloth is driving me crazy, it's puckering. Right, so we're going to use autumn leaf, which is the colour that I've been using on my ice cream cones. So I've a little bit left. What I'll do is I'll add some more, because I want to cover my board with this colour. So let's put a bit more in there. Anything I get left, we'll just have to make some more ice creams. So that's all right, we're happy with that. And then we're just going to go for like a sand colour. Let's go to the other camera. And we'll just do our board next. And then we've covered everything and we can start decorating. Which is the fun bit, isn't it? That's what we all want to do, really. I'm reading your comments about, what's that about? Oh, the dairy-free ganache. Okay, that's got a bit pale. Let's put in some more autumn leaf. So this is autumn leaf colour. This is the colour I've been using to do my Mr. Whippy ice cream cones. Cookies. And I'll show you one. I had one here somewhere a minute ago. Yeah, there we go. For those of you that are not au fait with my Mr. Whippy thing, there we go. That is it. So I made those on Tuesday. So if you want to watch that, you can go back onto YouTube and see it now. Sorry, just this tablecloth's driving me crazy this morning. There we go. It's better. Okay, let's knead that through. So it's a paste colour, autumn leaf. Scampi is a prawn. Oh, God, is it? not a very nice one. They're not. Oh, sorry, it's not a the prawns. Trouble is, if you have a dodgy prawn, then you get put off for a while. Well, I do anyway. This whole programme this morning is about scampi and prawns, isn't it? I'm making an 80s cake. Let me remind myself what exactly I'm doing here. So, we're making a sandy beach. So we're going to do this with the autumn leaf colour. We're going to chuck some sand on it later on. We're going to make a base for this cake. So I'm just going to cover the board. Not going to get too wound up about it. I am getting wound up about this tablecloth though, and I will have to sort this out after this. Yeah, Tuesday's live for the cookies. I did a massive live all on cookies. I've done cookies for the last 2 weeks. So if you want to go back and watch any of them, oh, my phone's decided to start ringing now. Well, that's interesting because it's actually only connects my broadband. So therefore we all know that's going to be a junk call of some description. You know, it's going well this morning, isn't it? We've got the aircon on now, so I'm not as red as what I was about 10-15 minutes ago. But in a minute, my phone will stop talking. There we go. Let's go back to what we're doing. So, which sugar paste? We are using Satinara, which is very nice. Very nice sugar paste. With me, I tend to grab what I've got. I've got a bit of couture, a bit of sugar paste, a bit of Satinara, a bit of masa, all sorts of things. Right, so we've done our autumn leaf. The phone's gone off. Now we've stopped that. We'll go back to we're going back to the icing. Yes, it's chaos here this morning, but that's okay. We don't mind. Right, let's roll this out. Get this into a circle for our base. Right. I've never made this cake before, so I am partially winging it. I've got a pretty good idea what it's going to look like because, as I say, I've done a bit of a mock-up, so I'm okay with this. I know I did. So I start talking about scampi, I'm off, you see. And 80s. I'm going to tell you some fun facts about the 80s, won't I? That'll be my next thing. First and foremost, it's the best decade for music. There just isn't any others as good as the 80s. Now you'll all start going, oh yeah, what about the 70s or what about the 90s? No, it's all about the 80s. Right, let's move that over there. Right, okay, let's take hold of my water. I'll just paint that over the top of this board. This is a 9-inch round board. I do want a bit of space at the front, but not huge amounts. So I'm going to offset it a little bit, but not huge. Right, let's take this and pop this over the top. There we go. That was easy, wasn't it? And then we'll take our smedger. Yeah, 80s is the best. Yay. Okay, let's put that up there. And then what we'll do is we'll just smooth that out with our smedger again. Make sure it's all stuck down. There we go. And we'll pick it up. We use our plastic side scraper, and then we'll just cut the edge off here, like so. Round we go. David Bowie. You like David Bowie? Okay, there we go. A little bit left over for a few more ice cream cones. Can't say no to the to those. Right, now what are we doing? That's a good question, isn't it? So what we're going to do is stick the cake to the board. So the cake is already on. Let me find my. Where is my palette knife gone? So the cake is already on a board, so that's easy. We just need to get our royal icing and stick it down. Here we go. You don't find one palette knife, you find about 4 at the same time. I used Saraceno's for the first time to cover my brother's wedding cake and it was all sticky to the touch. Oh Lord. Is that must be the Saraceno, not the modelling paste. They do a sugar paste, don't they? I've not used it. Oh, that sounds a bit dodgy. I've not used that one, so I don't know, but oh dear. Right, a little bit of royal icing. I'll just pop that on there. Don't need very much, just enough to stick it down. I'm going to be quick with this. 1, 2, 3, on. So I don't. Oh, hold it. So I'm going to just marginally offset it. I don't want to offset it too much. Let's bring this over here, and then we'll put you back onto that camera so you can actually see a bit better what's going on. There we go. Right, okay, as usual we need to make a decision which bits need to go at the back and which bits can go at the front. I think actually what I've done is fine. I'm not too worried about it, to be honest. I'm just going to tidy up a little bit around there. An air bubble going on there. Of course there is another air bubble today. They're breeding today, I think. Right, there we go. That's better. Yeah, you put me off that one. I've not been given that one to try, so I don't really know much about the the Saracino. The modelling paste is superb, but I don't like the sound of the sugar paste. That sounds a bit like you might have some difficulties with that there. Right, okay. Now we're going to think about this for a minute. So we're going to make a cocktail bar that's going to go on the front of this cake here. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take, now we could do this in modelling paste, I guess. We've got some Saracino somewhere, let's find that. Yeah, here we go. So the modelling paste is fine. It is quite hard, but that's because it retains its shape. There we go. You see it's quite, you can hear it's quite hard. So what you need to do is you need to kind of put it in the microwave to soften it up a little bit, because it's got cocoa butter in it, you see. So what it does, even though it's boiling in here, slightly better since I switched the machine on, it can be quite hard. I don't think my microwave's on, is it? No. Let's put that on. So we just put it in the microwave for 10 seconds, excuse me. Only because I'm melting completely. I'm not too bad, is it? Not as bad as I was 5 minutes ago. There we go, that's fine. So we're going to make a bar, a cocktail bar. So we're going to just use a bit of this, we don't need all of it. And we're going to dye it brown, the colour of our bar. We're going to build that, hopefully, in a minute. Right, let's go back onto the other camera. Let's get the, oh, actually I need to do, no, that can wait. I'm just thinking what else I need to do. So I'm making this up as I go along, just remember that. Right, so we've got some of this Saracino modelling paste. So not the sugar paste, the modelling paste. So it's quite tough, but the joy of it is that you are able to make shapes and they hold. So we're going to dye this brown, and again we're going to dye this really badly. So we're just going to put some brown in and then mix it, but not completely. Let's get this going here. So we want it quite dark. I'm going to put plenty in. I'll probably end up covered in it, I usually do. And then we'll fold that in half. Give that a bit of a knead. I've got yellow in there as well, just to add to it. That's probably attached to something somewhere. Is modelling paste okay to eat? Yeah, it's fine. Oh, Angela, I'm so proud of you. Angela's on her bike. Good for you. Well done. Everybody get on their exercise bikes and watch Sugar and Crumbs. I think we'll all lose tons. We'll all be so fit by the end of it, won't we? So I'm going to mix this, but I'm going to mix it, as I said, really badly. So I'm not going to mix it all the way through. I'm going to put a bit more in actually, because I want it to be a bit darker than this. Because what I want to do is end up with this kind of wood grain type effect. So let's stick some more of this in. I'm going to go for it. Don't worry about my hands. I look like this all the time. Everybody's used to it wherever I go. The multicoloured hands, although the brown one is, yeah, maybe not as attractive as perhaps the blue one or something. Right, so I need that through. Now I'm really getting covered in it, so I will be off to the sink in a second. So I'll be off to the sink now. Okay, right, I'm going to wash my hands. That came off really well. It wasn't too bad. Not too bad for me. Right. Okay. So I just had to clean my hands up because it's getting one step too far there. Right. Okay. So let's roll this out and see what we've got in terms of pattern. I might get some, you never know. I'm hoping we do. Look, I've mixed this in so brilliantly. I'm not going to get what I want, so I'm going to put a bit more in. my cloth. I had a cloth here a second ago. There we go. Just give my hands a wipe. Now I'm going to use my multi-ribbon cutter in a second. Let's just knead that through, but not very well, so I get what I want. Yes, that's what I want. Perfect. That's exactly what I want. I just knead it through a tiny bit more. You know what I'm looking for? No. Let's turn it back that way. Let's leave it like that. Okay, right, let's roll this out. A bit more icing sugar down. And then what we're going to do, this is going to look horrible and you'll think, what is she doing? We're going to make a cocktail bar. So we'll roll that out to start with, like that. Now, I don't want this to be too tall, but I need it to be level. So I'm going to use one of these. I think I'm going to be able to do it with this. Let me measure my original one that I made. So these are multi-ribbon cutters. So you unscrew the end, like so. You take out these bits here, move them up, pop those on, and then you can adjust it. I'm just checking. You can adjust it to whatever size that you want. So if you want, it's now going to cut me a width like that. Okay, I'm just checking against the one I did earlier. That seems fine. So that's the size I'm going to get, and it just means it's even all the way across. So this is a multi-ribbon cutter. Okay, so screw that back on, like so. Just going to make sure this isn't too thick. We're going to take hold of this, and you press down hard and you go straight across like that, and you get a lovely even strip. How lovely is that? I like. Okay, and then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take hold of a knife, and we're going to just straighten up the edges on that side. Now we don't want this to be too long, so we're going to go for it about, probably about there, I'd say. I don't want to make it too big. Probably okay. So I've got myself kind of a bit of a wood grain thing going on now. I'm just going to put a bit more icing sugar down because I want this to actually move and not be glued to my table. Got icing sugar all over it, but that's fine, that's okay. Right, it is a brilliant tool, isn't it? Now the next thing we're going to do is I'm going to just take hold of this knife, and I'm going to go across here. I'm just going to rock this backwards and forwards. So I'm creating what looks like sort of a wood effect, I guess, for this. So we're creating a little bar, basically. That's what we're doing. So backwards and forwards, like so. That's why I wanted all these kind of streaks in there, so I get that kind of wood effect, I guess. There we go. Right. Okay, let's just take that back a tiny bit. It's a tiny bit too long. Measure it against another one that I made earlier, just checking. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're then going to take hold of our Dresden tool, which is this tool here, and we're going to mark it. So we're going to put a bit of wood grain on here. So we're just going to go down these bits here. We're just going to kind of wiggle it around a little bit. So it doesn't have to be anything particularly clever. It's just part of a design, so don't spend too long on it. Just wiggle it down there. And then it looks a little bit more like wood, I guess. There we go, like so. Okay, right, now we're going to switch back to the other camera, and we're going to get this stuck on. Now we need to get this in the right place, because I'll be annoyed with myself if I don't. So let's bring this round. Take my water over there. I want to make sure that I don't actually have too much water in this, because otherwise it will be all over the place. Now what I want, that's my front, with another little thing going on there. So I'm just going to take hold of my water, and I'm just going to paint it on the back so it's tacky, all right? It's not dripping in water, otherwise it's going to just fall off. We don't want that. And I'm just going to put that there, like so. Okay, so you can see that on there. Okay, so that's the start of what we've got to do. And then we're going to build up the sides here. So that's our next thing. So we're going to go back to our multi-ribbon cutter again. Back to my chaotic desk. Why can I not work neatly? What is it? So we'll just take this again and we're going to roll this and we're going to change the width on our multi-ribbon cutter. And we're going to make it thinner. So roll that down like so. I want strips this time going up. And turn it, go that way. Don't worry about the icing sugar, it always comes off in the end. I'm not too fussed about that. You're a messy worker. I'm not normally. I think it's because I go live, I just go to pieces. I think that's what happens. Right, so we need to take this off now. We need to make this much thinner. So we're going to unscrew the end again. This saves all the mucking about. If I'm doing the right end, no, we need to undo this end. This saves all the mucking about with measuring with rulers and all this stuff. I don't want to be doing with that. That takes too long. I haven't got time for that. So this is a much better tool, much more accurate. And if you do it with modelling paste, when you pick it up, it won't stretch. If you do it with sugar paste, it will stretch. So you just have to bear that in mind. Let's screw that back on again. There we go. Right, so let's take that and we're going to go all the way up to the top. I'm going to do two actually, like so. There we go. Right, let's take those away, press down hard enough and then you get a reasonable cut as well. Right, so this is going to be the edge of our bar. Let me just check what I did with the original one. I did it a little bit thinner, but that's okay, it's alright. And then what we'll do, before we put it on the cake, we'll just chop the bottoms off so they're at least level if nothing else. And then we'll take hold of our Dresden tool and we'll just do a little bit of wood grain while it's not on the cake. Just because it's a bit easier to do it when it's not on the cake. Don't need it as long as this, probably about there. And then let's go back to the cake and then we'll put it on. Right, okay, I think I do need a smaller paintbrush. Let me get a little one. I lean over. Right. So what I want is this here to come up to about sort of there, I think. So I've marked that there. Let's cut that with the knife. And then what I'll do is I'll make sure the other one's the same. In fact, we'll use the same one because then I can use that other piece for the top. Okay, so we've got two identical height pieces. I'll just put a little bit more wood grain on this one just to match it. So it doesn't really have to be anything too similar. Right, done that. Paintbrush right in front of me. So we'll put our water on there again. And then we will put this one on here first so you can see it. Oh no, we won't. We forgot to put the shelf on. Ignore me. We need a little shelf, everybody, that sits out like this. So that's what we're going to use. Forgot my shelf. Let me cut that there. So we're going to use another piece of this. But I'm going to just trim it a little bit because it's going to be a tiny bit too wide, this piece. And I'm going to do it in a way that it's not equal. You'll see what I mean in a second. So I've done it so it's got a little curve on it. Okay, so it's not dead straight. And I'm going to have that sat like this so it sticks out on the this ledge here. That's the plan anyway. Now, in order to do that, I'm going to change over to, so am I going to do it with, no, I will do it with this because it should stick okay. I was going to do royal icing, but I won't for the moment. We'll just do it with a bit of water. The Saracino itself is quite sticky, so it should be fine. And then what we'll do is we'll take this bit here and then we will place it on there. Might need a bit of manipulation to get it to stick. Well, it should be okay. There you go, look at that, see? So if I turn that sideways, can you see what I've done? It's like standing out a little bit. So I don't want it to be totally flat. And then we'll put the other bits on. Let's get it in the right order. Okay, there we go. So that's our bit there. If I turn that right the way round, can you see? There you go. All right. And then what we'll do is we'll put these bits back on that I was doing a minute ago. Like so. So I'm creating a bit of a bar here. and then we'll take the other one and we'll put that there, like so. How are we doing? That looks alright, doesn't it? So far so good. And then what we do is we'll now do a bit that comes across the top. So we've got, actually we've still got a bit rolled out, that's quite handy. So I'm just going to cut across there, but I would like this to be not completely straight again. So I've cut it straight, but what I'm going to do is I'll go to the other camera for a second just so you can see this bit. So I'm just going to kind of manipulate this a little bit just so it's not 100% straight. To look a bit more kind of, that's better. All right, and then we'll take hold of our Dresden tool again and we'll come across here, just like so. So this is going to be like the top bit of the bar. Just remember, we're doing Club Tropicana, everybody. That's what we're here for. Right, now let's have a little look at this. So this is going to go across here, like so. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to cut this at one end. I'll just go back and measure it again. Where are we? About there. Okay. Are you enjoying this? Oh dear. What am I on, honestly? Right, okay. Let's put some water on the back of this. Just a bit of water will do. Nothing technical here. And then we're going to put that across like so. Let me make sure it's even. Let me just turn it towards me for a second. Yeah, happy with that. Let's not stick it down completely. Let's keep it a little bit 3D. So we'll just leave the ends kind of peeled off a little bit like that. Okay. Okay, so far so good. We've got our bar area built now. Happy with that. Let's get rid of this modelling paste. I'll come back to that later on. Right, let's get our key thing on here, which is of course Club Tropicana. So I've been on my edible printer again. I know everybody. I like my edible printer, so I managed to find, it's actually an album cover, would you believe it? So I've got a got a picture of the words Club Tropicana. Okay, there we go. So I think it's an album cover. Anyway, we're going to use this. So I'm going to cut down here, like so. We're going to go across this way, turn it around that way, like so, and here. Oh, get that one off there. Now remember, this is edible print, so you just have to remember, if you get water on this, it's going to come off, so you've got to be really careful that you don't get water on it. Now we're going to mount this on some sugar paste. What we'll do, actually, what should we mount it on colour-wise? Let's mount it on this brown, I think. Let's try and go back and do it on that. It should be okay. I don't think it'll show through. Pretty certain it won't. No, it'll be fine. So let's get our brown back again. And then what we'll do is we will take this and we'll roll it so it looks like part of the bar, you see. Like that. And that goes on there like so. And we're just going to cut this bit away so we don't end up putting water on loads of bits we don't really need. There we go. Take that away. And then what we're going to do, I'm going to put some more icing sugar down so it's sticking. There we go. And we'll take our brush. This is on edible paper, so I make loads and loads of cake toppers. Some of you will already know that I make mountains of them, and I love cake toppers. They're one of my favourite thing ever. So if you go onto my website, I've got about 70 odd designs on there now. I absolutely love it. So go and have a look. We've got a little offer on there at the moment as well. We used them on the ice cream on Tuesday night. If you put the code Cake Topper in at the minute, you get 10% off. So it's well worth going over and having a look. We've got everything and anything. I love it. It's great. So we're going to put that on there, like so. So we're just going to mount that on. I'm actually going to tidy this bit up. So yeah, this is just an edible cake topper. I just went onto Google and put in Club Tropicana to see what came up, because I knew what I wanted to do. Because my friend is a massive 80s fan, so we go to lots of festivals together, and that's why I'm doing her this cake. But she is also a member of Sugar and Crumbs, so it's not very helpful. I've told her she's banned this morning if she watches it, so hopefully she's at work or something. Right, let's use some royal icing rather than using water, because I don't want this to slide. If I start doing this with water, it's probably going to slide. Where are we? Okay, let's go over to here. Let's get a palette knife, and I've got my royal icing. So you can make royal icing with whipping it up. Tidy this up a bit. So you can make, yes, royal icing you can make with whipping it up. So whipping it up is the Sugar and Crumbs product, and all you need to do is just add some water to it, and the egg's already in there. So I'm going to just pop some royal icing on the front there, and then pop that up there like so. Let's just make sure it's fitting okay, which it seems to be. How about that? You can all sing along now, can't you? I'm going to have it a little bit higher than the cake as well, because I think it's, well, it's the feature on this cake. Well, almost the feature. It's not quite. There's a couple of other things to go on yet, but there we go. How about that? That looks okay, doesn't it? Let's get it straight. I want it to be straight and right. Perfect. Okay, lovely. So now we have that bit. That looks okay. So this, by putting this on here, it's keeping it where I want it to be. If I just put it on straight without any sugar paste, it's going to collapse, and I don't want that. So what's happening is the sugar paste or the modelling paste that you're using is basically supporting it, and that's why I'm going to do it. Sorry, excuse me leaning over. I'm just going to close up that. Right, we've done that bit. Next thing we're going to do, we're actually going to put this girl's name on here before I forget, because otherwise what will happen is I will end up putting this in the wrong place. So her name is Emma, and what I'm going to do is I've got these letters here. I'm just going to press these in, so any of these kind of letters is fine, but I want to put them on now before I forget, basically, and do it wrong. So I'm going to use them as a guide to do my piping. Alright, so I'm just going to press that down there, so it's going to give me a shape. Lovely. Thank goodness she's got a short name. And I have got a 50 somewhere. Yeah, I've got little cutters. We'll do a 5 and a 0 in a minute. So, do that there. So I'm just going around the board with this little bit here, because I'm going to put some sand and stuff down, you see. And if I don't put this on now, then I will have a problem, because you won't be able to see it. You've got absolute 80s on in your kitchen. Ah, there you go. It's a classic. I'll tell you, Heart 80s is very good as well. I find absolute 80s is brilliant, but sometimes it can keep playing the same songs all day. It drives me crazy. So yeah, try that one as well. Right, so we've got our bar, we've got Emma's name on it. We need to put 50 on it. We need to remind her that she's turning 50. She'll hate me for this, so we'll definitely be putting that on. So we're just going to cut out just a little 5 and 0 with these. The reason I'm having to do it with this is because I don't actually have the numbers on this section, but actually that's okay. I don't mind a bit of variety and script. That's okay, it's allowed. So just going to use these cake star numbers, or letters, no, numbers. So I'm just going to put those next to her name. So we'll put the 5 and the 0 there. I could have piped it, but I think we need extra emphasis on the fact she's 50. Actually, she's one of my last friends to turn 50. She's probably quite relieved, I would say. Right, there we go. So we've got Emma, we've got 50 on there ready. So there we go. You can see what I've done there. And then I'm going to pipe that in a minute or two. So we'll get round to that shortly. I'll get some royal icing in a bag. Right, let's move that over there. Now, if we are doing royal icing in a bag, I'm going to bring over one of my pots. Everybody seems to know about my pots these days. I have pots on my desk, which I use on my lives, because they've got everything and anything in it. I've kind of just got into the habit of chucking everything in these pots. So I'm going to need that little cutter, so we'll get that out. And I am looking for, what did I just say? Oh yes, we need a piping nozzle. So we're going to find, if it's not in this one, guess what? I've started a second pot as well because I've been throwing more and more stuff on my desk, and then obviously it expands. So let's try the other pot. Right, okay, the other pot's got, oh no, it's got gels in it. I don't want that. Let's get those out because they go everywhere. They seem to explode on a regular basis, don't they? Right, let us find, I'm looking for that one as well, that's good, we found that. It's all heading in the right direction. There we go, piping nozzle number 2. That's exactly what we want. Yeah, Heart 80s is a great channel. I love Heart 80s. I think the best thing about that is that you just listen to it and you go, oh, another classic. Actually, I might use a Wilton 3. I'm going to get that one out as well. Yeah, there's just so many songs, isn't there? That's what's so nice about it. Every song is a winner, as far as I'm concerned, anyway. Right, piping bag. Okay, we've got one of those to hand. That's good. Scissors. Actually managed to knock something over this morning and found 5 pairs of scissors, so I was quite pleased about that. So disaster averted. It means I found 5 pairs of scissors. Right, let's get hold of, I'm going to actually use, we'll try Wilton 3. I don't know how thick this is going to be, but we'll give it a go. It might be too thick. Just want to, we'll use that to pipe her name. In fact, I won't do that until later because otherwise I know what's going to happen. I'll knock it and then I'll be annoyed with myself, so we won't do that yet. Right, let's have a go back to our bar. Let's do some more bar decorating. So we have got obviously an empty bar, which is definitely not what we want for this. So on our website, I'm going back to my beloved cake toppers. We have got a sheet called Cocktails, which I've actually got on little discs that you can use on cupcakes. But what I did is I peeled them off and I have mounted them on sugar paste like so, and then I've cut round them. So I picked what I thought would be the nicest looking drinks. So I've peeled them off, cut round them, mounted them on sugar paste, and now we're going to put them on the bar. So that's what we're going to do next. So let's go back to this. Here we go. Right, now what should we stick them on with? We'll stick with water. Now I think these should fit all 4, but if we do them with water we can slide them around, you see, if they don't. So we'll put a little bit of water on there, and we're going to stand these on our bar. So there's one, and another one here. Just done that one there. So just different cocktails. So we've got a mocktail cupcake kit, which is like 2 bags of those icing sugars of Carol's, the passion fruit, and the other one, what's the other one I picked? Mango and, is it the mango one? Anyway, 2 of those and these cupcake toppers. Right, let's move this along the bar a bit. Make sure we can fit them all in. And they look like they're sat on the ledge then, really, which is why I often put the ledge on, because it just looks a bit more realistic than just having it kind of flat. Okay, and then we're going to put another one in there, which I've got a nice tall thin one at the end, so hopefully that should fit. Look at that. You could not have done that better, could I? There we go. Hey! We have a bar, everybody. The drinks are on me. Right, okay, so we need to continue with our bar theme now. So what we'll do is we will, should we pipe some leaves and put some flowers on, I think. So let's put some tropical flowers on it. We'll make those first. Let's do some bright colours. I'm sure I saw red there a minute ago. Right, it's not really red. Christmas red colour splash I would describe as more cerise pink, but we'll use that. So we're going to knead some of this into the modelling paste. So this is Christmas red, which I think looks like, well, we bought it for our pizza kits, and then I was horrified because it wasn't as red as tomato sauce. It was more of a cerise pink colour, so we didn't use it. But I found other ways or other things to use it with. It's now dripping everywhere. Okay, so let's get some bright colours going. We could do with the yellow actually. I'll go and investigate for yellow in a second. Do you like that? Does that look fun? Are you all having a little sing? Oh dear. Of course you are. I am in my mind, you see. I can't sing out loud because Facebook will close me down. I haven't finished yet, don't worry, there's more to go. So yeah, this Christmas red colour, or whatever it's called, I mean it's okay, it's like a sort of a cerise colour, it's fine for this, but if you buy Christmas red, don't expect it to be red. It's more of a cerise pink. So on our website we've got the cocktail toppers, which are on a sheet, and again if you put the code in cake topper, you get 10% off at the moment, so keep an eye on that. That's live till Monday. So if you do want to do this, then yeah, we've got that. Right, let's see how that is. Yeah, that's an okay colour. Right, let's find, I'm going to have to wash my hands again though because I'm covered in it. Right, let's go over here. Right, let's do, what else should we do? Let's do a yellow, I think. Those are kind of tropical colours, aren't they? What did I do with the gel colours? All the way behind me. Okay. Right, let's get that out. Let's go lemon. I'm reading your comments about the alternative words. Right, let's see if that colour's mixed properly. Now I haven't got any on my hands. I know I've got a big stain on my board, but that's okay. Not too worried about that. That'll come out eventually. Right, let's put a bit of white, not white, let's put some yellow into this white. Where's my cloth gone? I'll give that a wipe actually because that's starting to annoy me. That's better. Right, so we've got that colour. Let's go on to this one. And we're mixing up a yellow, so we'll have a yellow colour. This is just for a few flowers. I could have done these in advance. However, Sugar Flare Blood Red, that's a nice colour, is it? Let's try. So this one is Colour Splash Lemon. So let's get this nice bright colour going. The other cutter I wanted might be on the other side of the room, so I might have to do a bolt in a minute, see if I can find what I'm looking for. There you go, that's quite nice, isn't it? Right, give me another tropical colour, give me one more, but not green. One more flower colour to go with this. I'm going to let you decide. Well, you'll get to decide if I've got it. If I haven't got it, it won't be that colour. What colour would we put with this, do you think? Maybe lilac, maybe blue. What colour flowers should we go for? What would you like? Orange. Oh yeah, good plan. Let's do orange. Let's hope I've got orange. Let's see what we've got. Oh, everyone's going for orange. Yeah, we've got orange, hooray, well it's covered in green. I wonder if everyone else has the same problem I have with these gel colours. They leak everywhere, they really are a pain, and you pick one up and your hands are a completely different colour from what you're actually doing. Orange, right, let's do orange, as requested. Your DJ request, orange. Right, let's go back to the modelling paste because I think I might have some sugar paste on here going as well, but that's okay, it doesn't matter. It's not that much of a problem. Right, let's whack some orange in there. And then we're also going to mix up some green, but we're going to do that with the royal icing, I think, so we can kind of make a bit of a sort of, I don't know, tropical flower thing. I get covered in gel colour too, it's terrible. I bought a little stand, you know, like a nail polish stand. Well, I regretted that immediately because they keep falling over, so I'm not saying. The rainbow dust's quite flat, but the other ones aren't. They're slightly sort of beveled at the bottoms. They all keep falling over, it's driving me crazy. So there we go. that's okay, isn't it? That looks like an okay colour combo. We're happy with that. Right, royal icing and green. Where's my green? God, I've got gels everywhere. Let me just move these all out of the way. There we go. Right, green. I think we better go for a kind of realistic green, haven't we? We'll go for this one, which is Colour Splash Leaf, which is honestly one of the best colours ever. So let's get hold of the royal icing and we will mix some up. Let me get a bowl and a palette knife. Hopefully I've got one. Yes, I have. Right, so a bit of royal icing. We don't need huge amounts. We'll just whack in, I don't know, a bit more than that maybe. Just a little bit. Okay, put my lid back on again so it doesn't dry out. And here we go. No, the cake is 5 inches by 5 inches in height, so it's sort of 2 5-inch cakes, I'd say. Right, I'm just being careful with this because, as usual with the gels, the colours are all over the lid. Right, let's see what we get here. That looks okay, doesn't it? We're just going to use the leaf nozzle. We're not going to get too precious about this because it's kind of background stuff, isn't it, really? It's not that important, so we're just going to go with that. So let's find, oh, I should have found that nozzle when I was hunting earlier. Right, okay, let's go back into the nozzle pot. Let's see what we can find. Hold on. Let's have a little rummage. So we're looking for 352. Right, I'm going to tip them out because they are all on top of each other. Right, bear with me a second. Oh no, we could use that one. This one is PME 51, which we actually do have, don't faint. There's like a massive shortage of PME nozzles. I do actually have one or two, unbelievable. Right. Yeah, cake was ganache when I started because otherwise I'd be here till goodness knows what time. Actually, I'm going to swap that for 3. How am I going to swap that for that? Yeah, I think I might. Well, that's Wilton 352. I think I'll keep both out and then I might change my mind. We'll see how we go. See what we get. So I've not done this before, so we're just making it up as we go along. Right, let's get piping bag again and scissors. Come on, Tracy, you had 5 pairs this morning. Right, here we go. So pop that in under here. Nick is live from a hospital bed. Right, that one. And then what we'll do is we'll pop this into the bag. Hopefully you can kind of see where this is heading, she says. And pop that in there, like so. Get rid of that, we don't need that again. Okay, and now I'm just going to leap over here and see if I can find the cutter I want. Worth looking, I found it. Fantastic. Right, I have returned with the one I want, although this may be too big. I may change my mind. Let's see how we go. Right, so what we're going to do is we're going to take hold of these modelling pastes. We're just going to roll them out. We're going to just make a few flowers, a few tropical flowers, everybody. So just roll that out. Like so, we'll roll this one. We'll do them all while we're here at the same time. We'll do them different ones. So I've got a variety of cutters here, not to mention a huge mess next to me. Let me just get rid of that. Let's have a mini tidy up so we don't look like we're in total disorganisation. Do you know what? I've just spotted some gel colour, and that gel colour is going to end up on something, so I'm just going to remove it. That's typical, isn't it? There we go, that's better. I know my PA isn't very well at the moment, are you, Nikki? I've sent her a message. Right, so we're just going to roll this down here like so. See, look, that's typical. Got a little bit of colour on there. It's spreading. Don't do that piece there. Once you get a bit of gel colour on one thing, it seems to turn up on everything. Right, okay. A little bit of yellow. Yeah, at least, Nikki, you can watch this from your hospital bed, can't you? That's quite nice. You don't feel cut off then. There we go. How about that? That's quite a nice selection, isn't it? I'm happy with that. Okay, so what we can do, let's have a look. I did want a few big flowers, but nothing too dramatic. So let's go on to the other one. Here we go. So what we can do, let's take hold of this cutter to start with. So we'll just cut out the big one. And then if you take hold of it, you should be able to kind of just pinch it like so. You feel like you've got the world's biggest thumbs when you're doing this. Just pinch it and pull it out a little bit. Gosh, my hands feel like they're giants. Come on. Like that. So you get, I need to put it down so it's sticking to me. You'll see it when I put it on in a second. And what we'll do, we'll just create a little bit of kind of flowers and tropical looking things down here. So I'll put some green, some of our green on here. Don't want to go too mad with this, but we want it to look like it's, yeah, don't cover it all up. Big mistake if you do that. Just want little bits of it covered. Can you see? Like that. And then we will take hold of a Dresden tool. I'm just going to pop that flower there. I'm just going to press it down so it stands out. Like that. Okay, we'll do another one on the other side. Can we see that? There we go. So we'll just do another one. We don't need too many of these. So again, just pinch it. Like that. And then we'll go down the other side. So I'm just using the leaf nozzle at the moment. Again, don't cover it all, just cover little bits, okay? Less is more with this. Can you see what I mean? Otherwise it's going to be too much. And then we'll pop that one in there next to it. Again, we'll just manipulate it, push it in like that. And turn it around the other way. So I'll bring that in, like so. Okay, how cool is that? And then what we'll do is we'll use the smaller one. Again, we don't have to turn those into some little tropical ones if you don't want to. You can just leave the shape, but I think I will give this a go and just see if I can make it a bit more pointy, because I quite like that look. They are getting smaller, these cutters, so there's going to come a point where it's not going to work. Let's go with it for the minute and pop that one in there. And again, we'll just push that down. And then just use your Dresden tool just to kind of make them sort of close in a little bit. I'm glad it's reminding you of your holidays. Might be a popular cake, you know, after this, because people might be thinking, gosh, we're not going anywhere. I'll tell you what, we'll make a little beach bar or something. This is what my idea was anyway, was to make a little beach bar. And then we'll go back over to the side again, put another one in there. Push that down and bring that forward. Like that. How's that? Even I like this. Right, let's do some yellow. Let's do a couple of yellows. again, we'll try and make it pointy. I don't think we'll get any smaller than this because I think we'll be cursing it if we get any smaller. So we'll take it no smaller than this one. It's just the colour combo, I think, really, isn't it? And then we'll put this one up there. Okay, and then lift this one forward. Okay, how's that? Let's go around this way. Coloured flashing LED lights, yeah, why not? Oh, well, I'm glad you said that. What I'll do is when I've given her the cake, I'll put a picture of her on Sugar and Crumbs with the cake, because she is a member of Sugar and Crumbs, but yes, I've banned her for the I've banned her this week so she can't watch it. I said, I'm making your cake live, can you please stay off? So I've had to tell her I'm making her a cake, but obviously she doesn't know what it is. There we go, how about that? That looks good. And then what we'll do as well, we could go over the top with it, couldn't we? Don't want to put too much on. Put a little bit down here as well, maybe. How about a little bit going along there? So let's go. I did Google lots and lots of these bars, I know, honestly, because you kind of know in your mind what things look like, but then you don't, if that makes any sense. So you go, yeah, I know what that looks like. And then when you actually look at it, you realise you're totally wrong. Yeah, they are PME cutters. They're the PME daisy cutters, so they're in various different sizes, so that's what I'm using. Nothing particularly unusual. All I've done though is I have just taken them and I've just pinched the edges. So I've just kind of taken hold of it and just pinched the edges to make them just look a bit more kind of like, I guess like mini lilies or something, I don't know. Mini tropical flowers, because I think the others, they're just not quite right. And then when I've put them on with my tool, let's put another one in there, I've just kind of pushed them up against the royal icing and then used my Dresden tool just to bring them forward like so. Let's do another one on the other side. You can tell me you're making me a cake, I wouldn't mind. Oh, well, that's all right then. I've done a few live cakes for friends and family, so I've done my dad's birthday on here, and I've done, what else did I do? Oh, my nephew's football cake. That was funny. He was mortified, but that's okay. That's what aunts are for, isn't it? All right, let's pop that under there. How are we doing? You see, I think that makes all the difference, tying those two together. Let's just put on a little bit there. Just put a little bit under there. Right, let's go back to the other colours, just to make sure it all ties up. Go, I'll turn it round so you can see it. Looks alright, isn't it? Who'd ever thought a bar cake could be this much funny? Right, okay, let's pop that one in there. Because then what happens is it picks up the colour. Even if you don't use all the colours, it does help to drag your colours through if you've got it in several different places. It just looks so much better. And then we'll go back this way. And then we'll pinch the edges there. Just pull that in there. I don't know what time Sugar and Crumbs have got another live today, but I might get kicked off at this rate. I don't know what time they're back on again today. Maybe, oh gosh, I hope it's not 1:30. Right, okay, how about that? So we're all right so far. I might put some white centres in these flowers when I get the white in my bag, but I haven't got that far yet, so there we go. I think that's okay so far, isn't it? Yes, it is green royal icing. That's it, that's all it is. I'm going to keep my flower stuff rolled out for the moment, because I might come back and put some flowers around the base here when I kind of finish doing that bit. Okay, so Club Tropicana, we all know that it's a famous song and we all know who sang it, so of course it would be wrong if it was an 80s cake not to put George and Andrew on, so of course we are. And I have gone on to my edible imaging and found this lovely picture of the pair of them looking out, I think potentially at a very nice bar that I've just done. So all I've done is I've gone onto Google and I've printed it off on my edible paper, and then I've cut it out and I'm going to put it next to the bar down here, so they are looking up at the bar, and my friend Emma will be very happy about that. So I'm just going to take it and just put a little bit of water on the back there, and I'm just going to pop George and Andrew down there around the back so they're looking up at the bar. I know, isn't it a fab photo? It's just got to be done, isn't it? So they're all part of this 80s kind of, there you go, look at that. Shall I flatten it down? There we go. So then they're looking at their Club Tropicana bar. You can't have Club Tropicana without George and Andrew, can you? So I'm just going to push that down. And then what we're going to do, we're going to do a few waves, obviously, and a bit of sand, because they're on the beach and all the rest of it. So let's get that. So they're looking up at our bar. But you see, she'll see that. She won't see that for the minute. Then she might turn it around and spot it. It's a bit of fun, isn't it, more than anything else? Right, let's put some waves on. Now what I need is another pot, so let me swap that one over. So I've got a clean one. And we're going to use some white icing, and we'll put some blue in it. So a bit more royal icing. So I'll put that in there. I don't need huge amounts, but I need enough to do my waves and my sand. Oh, I need to do some piping as well. Right, let's do that now. Let's put that in the bag so I don't forget. Otherwise I will be regretting that. So let's put that in there. Right. Otherwise I'll end up dyeing it all blue and then realise what I've done. There's not much royal icing left. I'm running out. Okay, let's put that over there. Exactly. They look like they're waiting to be served. There they are. Right, okay, let's get some blue. So we'll put some of this colour splash blue in, but what we'll do is we'll mix it really badly. So we'll just put a drop in. And then we'll just put this in here. We'll just mix it so it's just going through a little bit. It's going to make the water quite bright, but that's okay. Like so. So there we go. We won't mix it any more than that. And then you've kind of got a choice really. You can either do it with a paintbrush, which I find quite successful normally. Although who knows, on a live, anything can happen. And you can just kind of tap it in to where you want it to be. So I just take my brush, I'm just going to push the water up against George and Andrew there. So, a bit more white in if we want to. There we go. And you could go round the whole cake doing water if you want to. It's entirely up to you. Like that. So let's do some round the other side maybe. Sand on the front. Let's do a bit more here. Makes sense then, doesn't it? Okay, I'm literally throwing everything at this. Full-blown 80s special this. Yeah, let's go all the way around the back and then we don't have to look at the messy sides of the cake, although actually they're not too bad. We might as well just cover up any gaps that we have. With a bit of sea. Surfs up, absolutely. Right, let's put that on. Now we can even take it up the cake a little bit here at the back. So don't worry about trying to be neat with it. Right, nearly there. Put a little bit more on there. And then we'll have a bit of sand round the front, shall we? Let's take that up onto the cake a bit. Get that going around her name. Okay, how's that? That's pretty good. I'm reading that. You may left a big blob of colour coming out of the nozzle in the blue colour that made the, yeah, it could be. Who knows? Right, so let's put that there. So let's bring that forward a tiny little bit and just drag it out. And then we can take some of the white royal icing. So let's get rid of the blue because we don't want that for a second. Let's clean this because there's blue everywhere. Right. That's better. And then what we'll do is we'll take some of the white icing, we don't need a lot, and then we'll pop that down the front here, and then we're going to use that to put some sand on. Okay. You'll see okay, yeah, perfect. Right, so sand wise I've just gone for just light brown sugar. I need a spoon. And I'm just going to, you can use crushed biscuits or whatever you want. I just happen to have this, so that's what we're using. And we'll just put that down the front there. Just kind of around her name, really. You like that? Looks cool, doesn't it? Squish that in, make sure it's set. Sum up the bar a little bit, can't we? This is what I was saying about piping her name last, or one of the last things, because otherwise it's going to end up everywhere. Okay, there we go, see that looks alright. Right, let's pipe her name, let's get that bit done, and then we'll do the topper. Obviously I've got a cake topper that's going to go on, and then we'll make some decisions as to whether we need any more flowers. Right, so I've just got piping nozzle Wilton 3, and I'm just going to follow the markings that I put down earlier. Breathing occasionally, everybody, but not too often. Every so often I may breathe. Right, and then we'll come down this way. So I'm just going to follow it. It's never going to fill it. You'd need a super big nozzle to do that. So this one is fine. I quite like the way it doesn't fill it sometimes. It just looks quite nice. And then round here. Okay, there we go. So that's her name on. We've got that bit sorted. Love it. Good. Right. Okay, so we've got her name on. Let's have a little look at where we are at the moment in terms of that. What's that? Yeah, I don't think we need any more flowers up there. So we've got a topper, of course. And as for me, you know what it's like, all supple. Yeah, no, I've gone subtle on this. I have got just a happy birthday, so we've got a nice gold happy birthday to go on top there. So let's put that on next. And there. Oops. Like so. That's probably going to go off camera. I'll pick that up in a minute so you can see it. Yeah, it's going to go off. You're not going to be able to see it very well. Okay, let me pull this forward a tiny bit. Oh, there you go. You can see it a little bit better. I'll pick it up at the end, and I'll also put pictures on Instagram. Let me just make sure I've actually got it in straight. Does it feel like it's straight? That's better. Okay. All right. I will pull this back so you can see it. Now I've got these. I don't know whether this might be too over the top, but I don't think you can possibly go over the top with a cake like this, but we'll have a look. These are, hold on. I don't know whether I want these or not. Let's have a little look whether it might be too much. Oh, I don't know, I actually quite like it as it is, I think. Might just put a couple of flowers at the top and a bit of sand, just so it kind of ties it all together. I think otherwise it's going to look a little bit, so let's put a little bit of royal icing under there, and actually that will help keep the cake topper from moving around. So a little bit of sand and a few flowers, that suits me, I think. You all want the cake now, do you? let's just spread that around a little bit. And then we'll get my sugar back again. Yeah, I haven't forgotten. And then we'll chuck a bit of this on the top. Like so. So when I'm out having my scampi on Friday night, tomorrow night, I'll take a picture of Emma with her cake and then I'll put it on the community board and you'll be able to see it. Let's make sure that's all sat down. It's quite nice actually because it's kind of going over the top of there actually. I think that looks quite nice. Happy with that. Okay, lovely. Right. Okay, let's cut out a few more flowers just so we can kind of have that up there. Little matches. So do a couple more. Haven't forgotten the middles, don't worry. Do those last because that's going to be the last thing we've got to do. Oh, and the ribbon. Oh, have I got any ribbon out? That's another leap round the back for me to find. Okay, let's put a bit of icing on there for a flower. And we'll put that on. And again, we'll push into the middle, but we need that Dresden tool to kind of lift it up a bit. And we'll do the orange and the yellow. We'll do all three. You're going to sing happy birthday. You obviously like this one. Well, you could do it. You could have a go. I'm going to put it on my YouTube channel after this, okay? So nip over there and have a little look. Although I'm still going to have to banner off that, aren't I, until tomorrow. I might not be able to post a picture of this until tomorrow evening. Right, which is a shame really, but never mind. Put a little one in there. One more. Then the centres, then the ribbon, and then we're done. So we're nearly there. Not too bad. How long has it taken me? Hour and a half, that's all right. Not that long. And we'll put that one there. Just so it kind of matches the top. Oh, we could put some green around it. Let's do that. Just a little bit. Again, just all about matching things, bringing things in together. Of course that's not going to stick, is it? See, I want it to. So let's put a little bit of greenery in there. Oh, sorry, I'm putting my arms probably in the way. A little bit in there. Cool. Right, centres. So we're just going to get our... Love it. So on our website we've got the cocktail toppers. We don't sell this I got off Etsy yesterday, so we don't sell these. They're lovely, aren't they? But I got that off Etsy. It's the cocktail toppers that we've got that are on the cake topper site on the website. Okay, so let's do the middles. Just tiny little dots there, I think. And then I'm just going to go and investigate ribbon. Let's see if we've got some ribbon to complete it. So let's see what we've got. Oh, brown. That's in location. Brilliant. Let's do that. Okay, I'll use brown because then what that will do, you think brown, what a yucky colour, why would you do that? But actually brown, because there's brown in this cake, it will pick up the bar. Apart from the fact it's absolutely everywhere. This ribbon's wrapped itself round everything. Right, okay, we're there now. Right, we're almost there anyway. There we go. And scissors, which of course I have found all these pairs today, so I'm very lucky. Yeah, Etsy's got some nice toppers on it. I send all my brides to Etsy to get their cake toppers. Right, Frit stick. Okay, let's go for it now, shall we? eBay, another place you can get these kind of things. Oh, Sugar and Crumbs might have some, I don't know. So I think I've done Wham proud, haven't I, and my friend. I've managed to incorporate George and Andrew. Right, let's pop this on. And you'll see in a minute what I mean. See, it picks up the bar. Let's move back a bit so you can see it. Can you see by using a darker ribbon it's picked this up? So it's bringing all the colours through, and it's all kind of on the same tonal range as this, your golds and your browns. And you've got the gold colour in there as well, so everything is kind of working together. There we go, scissors. Right. Okay. Cut that, get rid of that. And then we'll do that. Let's make sure that stands up there a little bit. There. Da, 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 da. There we go. Now you were hoping I was going to put brown ribbon. To be honest with you, Donna, it just happened to be next to me, so it was obviously meant to be, wasn't it? Right, now I want you to see the whole cake. So what I might have to do, let me put you on this camera for a second. Let's move this back a little bit. See if I can get a better view of it. If I move my camera around. If I do it while you're watching, you'll end up feeling sick. So it's easier for me to turn you onto the other camera. Right, let's have a little look. There we go. How about that? So we've got George and Andrew at the bottom there, look. Looking up at their bar. Club Tropicana, eat your heart out. A nice little bar. With all our sand. Do you like it? It's fun, isn't it? There you go. I think we've had a bit of fun doing this one today. So that's it. Yeah, she will love it. She will love it. She will. She'll be fine. I will take a photo and you'll be able to see her with it. So, and I'll put that on Sugar and Crumbs. So good. Bit of fun, I think. So I will take photos of it, and it will go onto my YouTube channel as a tutorial. Thank you very much. I'm glad you like it. I haven't made too much mess either. I mean, honestly, if you look around the room, maybe it's slightly more chaotic, but actually not too bad. What she really needs, though, she's at the Club Tropicana, is a Mr. Whippy ice cream. Let's just say it. So what she should have really is one of these next to it. Just to complete it all, really. Right, there we go. I will now, yeah, nice cheery cake on a miserable day. I mean, it's sort of overcast here, but my goodness, it's hot. I say it's very muggy. I was very pleased you can hear me over the top of the air conditioning. I'm just going to pick this up so you can see it. There we go. Let's turn it this way. Oh, I hate this because it's the opposite way to me. I always have this problem. There we go. There's George and Andrew at the bottom there. We'll turn it round. There. Cool. All right. Okay, so that's the end of the demonstration this morning. Thank you very much for tuning in. It's a little bit more than I normally do. I normally do these lovely calm painting ones, but every so often I get asked to do birthday cakes, and so what I do is I try and do them on my lives, which I then put onto my YouTube channel. So if you do want to go and have a look on my YouTube channel, because what tends to happen is I do lots and lots of demonstrations, and then they get to, well, they sort of disappear amongst the abyss of all the other demonstrations. But if you do want to actually find them in one place, then go over to the YouTube channel and subscribe, and then every time I put a demo up, you will get an alert and you can watch them, and then you can work out what you want to do. If you want any further information about me, that's classes, products, any of that kind of stuff, go to tracyscakes.co.uk. I will be demonstrating on Saturday morning this week at 9:30. For those of you that watch me on Saturday mornings, I will be on half an hour earlier because I've got a wedding cake and I've got to get to a venue, so I have to start earlier on Saturday. So if anybody watches me Saturday, it's a 9:30 start, not 10 o'clock. Normally I'm on at 10 o'clock, but it will be 9:30. For those of you who watch me on Sugar and Crumbs, I will be back at 6:30 on Tuesday evening. I will also be on Thursday morning because somebody else has asked me to make a birthday cake, so I suspect Thursday morning I'll be doing another birthday cake. I'm not too sure what yet. I'm finding out later today because I'm going to meet this lady and hear what she wants me to do, so that will be fine. I'm sure we can create something fabulous. But anyway, thank you very much for joining me. Have a lovely day at Sugar and Crumbs or whatever else you're doing, and if you want any information, there's my website. Enjoy and get out there before it starts raining. All right, take care, see you soon, bye.